All right, real quick, I just want to talk about how being bullied as a child can affect you as an adult. And I say this as somebody who was bullied as a child. Um, when I believe it started when I was in first grade. So I was bullied in first grade, from first grade all the way until fifth grade. So for 5 years, I was bullied. And those, unfortunately, are the times when you are the most vulnerable, the most fragile, the most impressionable as a child. So it can really do a number on you. And you might think that as you get older, like, oh, that was, we're just kids back then, it's not going to affect me anymore. But then it creeps up on you when you become an adult, right? Because as I mentioned, I was bullied for those years, and I can remember them vividly from first grade on to fifth grade. And it really didn't stop until I got to middle school for some reason. By the time I was in sixth grade, it seemed like most people matured, and even my bullies that I continue to go to school with were not bothering me anymore. Because I started to have a growth spurt, which was good. Because when I was younger, I was a bit smaller, but then by the time I got to middle school, I started to have a bit of a growth spurt. And they weren't bothering me. And by the time I got to high school, I was playing sports. So I became, kind of like Mr. Popular through sports. And so I didn't really have to deal with any bullies at all. As a matter of fact, I began taking martial arts when I was in middle school. I'm going to try to get into some more light here. I'm going to drive though. I began taking martial arts when I was in middle school. And so by the time I got to high school, and I really enjoyed martial arts. I enjoyed learning how to throw kicks. I really love spinning kicks. And I really got into competing in tournaments also. I still have my gigantic karate trophies from the Kumite matches I competed in high school. I've often said back then, this was like the 80s, mid 80s. So back then they did not bother to separate the adults from the children. So I was basically like 15 years old, fighting men who were like 35 years old, who were like my dad's age. I mean, it was so ridiculous. I still have photos of it. I'm gonna have to post some in the future. Like, I'm here with baby-faced 14-year-old fighting a dude with a mustache, with a freaking Tom Selleck style 80s mustache, Magnum PI looking mustache, and I beat the guys, and so it gave me a tremendous amount of confidence as a teenager, to where I felt like I didn't want anybody to ever mess with me again like they did when I was younger. So that was the thing. By the time I got to high school, I didn't want to take crap from anybody. And fortunately, again, through sports, nobody did. I think there was only one or two guys, and shockingly, those guys were smaller than me, trying to bully me. So I had no problem fighting them. I was like, why are you trying to fight me, dude? I'll kill you. However, I would always think back like, wow, I remember being bullied as a kid, and it didn't bother me in my teenage years. I thought, yeah, that was that, it's over and done with. However, once you become an adult, in little ways, it does creep up on you, right? I noticed that I would be a little abusive in friendships and in relationships, even someone like with my girlfriends. I just felt like, it's almost like, because you're bullied, you become the bully now, and at the time I didn't recognize that. It wasn't until I got older and that I started to realize, like, hey, I'm becoming what I don't like, right? I think there was a great line, was it in Batman or something like that? Either you retire a hero or you live long enough to become the villain. Something like that. But I felt like, yeah, I don't want to become what I despise, and I felt like I was becoming that. So yeah, when it comes to bullying, man, it just has terrible effects. And I feel bad, you know, about the kids that I tried to bully back then, right? Because when you're bullied, you know, you try to do the same thing to other people. As they say, hurt people hurt people. You ever hear that saying? Hurt people, man. So whenever somebody's trying to hurt somebody, you know, whether physically or verbally, you know that's coming from somebody who's been hurt, right? Somebody who has damaged themselves. So I can even remember when I was like in 6th or 7th grade, there was this smaller kid that didn't speak English. What was his name? His name was Shin Sung or something like that. But he was a nice kid. I don't even know why I did that. I think it's just because I had been bullied. I wanted to experience being the bully, you know, and I kind of chased him around one day and he ran, and to this day I feel bad about that. I'm like, why did I do that, man? And I hope I didn't help traumatize him in some way, because he did get picked on a lot, and I'm like, why am I doing this? You know, why am I adding to this? And I just hope it's not. I'm sure it traumatized him a little bit as an adult, because he probably got bullied more than I did. And if you don't work on yourself, I mean, it can start to show up in your relationships as an adult, right? Whether, again, you become abusive as a friend, as a father, or as a boyfriend, what have you. There's Cash's stroller in the background. So yeah, it's weird how suddenly the sun just, I was shooting coaching videos earlier and the sun just went down, and all of a sudden it's like nighttime. But if you've been bullied as a child, man, the biggest thing is to not repeat or not continue the cycle of abuse, right? Especially with people who really had nothing to do with it, and people who don't deserve it, you know? Because that is really the weak path to take, is to just start bullying other people. However, when you are bullied, you know, as a kid, you tend to suffer a form of almost like a form of PTSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome, you know, where you become very reactive, more than normal, more than most people. And you're almost kind of like thin-skinned too, where certain things that somebody says to you will kind of just set you off, right? Because it's almost like your brain is telling you, like, hey, this person's trying to do you like those bullies did you, you know, back in 2nd grade. Don't let them get away with it. You know, you kind of go into that mode, right? And it's not healthy, right? And they always talk about fight or flight, right? You either go to fight or flight mode. And I don't believe you have to go into either mode, right? Because both are no-win situations. You always hear like, oh, you know, people either go into fight or flight, man. What are you gonna do? Huh, big man? Fight or flight? I've not been a fan of either fight or flight modes, because I think both will land you to a dark place. I always like the balance approach, right? And I was just watching an Andrew Tate video where he was talking to Candace Owens, and she did a whole little short reel on this, where he was talking about don't be a straight homo. Don't be a straight homo. And I only watched it once or twice, but what I took away from it was he was basically saying don't let people mess with you, because you will go home and it will eat away at you. And rather than letting it eat away at you, let it eat away at him and deal with him, you know, which is really contradictory to a video that he did probably a year earlier, where he was saying that, hey, you should be a complete pussy and just run away. He was like, I can fight, but I'd run away, because you don't know if the guy has a gun. You don't know if the guy will shoot you, you know? So it was very contradictory to a message that I heard him say last year. I don't know if he meant in a different context, but I do like, you know, Tate's work most of the time, so I have nothing against him. But again, like I was saying, you want to take more of a balanced approach than, you know, fight or flight, right? The last thing you want to do is sit there and fight, you know, and like get into a physical altercation where it can cost you your life. You know, especially if you have kids, if you have people that depend on you, if you have people that care about you. It's no longer just about you. I mean, we're not on a schoolyard playground anymore, right? We're in the real life world here where there are real life consequences, including prison, right? If you really screw up. And I don't want that to happen. And, you know, unfortunately, being bullied as a child puts you at greater risk to doing something stupid to protect your ego, to protect yourself, you know, from at least subconsciously thinking that you're, you know, these people are trying to bully you like they did those bullies from childhood. No. Okay? No, because what really takes strength and really takes being a man is being the bigger person, is being the leader, right? Being the authority figure, right? Being the one that people look up to. Because are you really going to look up to the guy that's all like super reactive and just trying to kick everyone's ass? I mean, yeah, it's impressive to a certain degree, right? Somebody could like go out there and whip some ass, but not everybody has that ability. And also, there are some dire consequences for whooping everyone's ass physically, right? Even if you can do it, there are dire consequences. Again, jail, prison, courts, lawyers, lots and lots of money, thousands of dollars you'll have to spend to win your freedom back. It's just, at the end of the day, it's like you have to ask yourself, is the juice worth the squeeze? And I will tell you, spoiler alert, it's not. Okay? It's not. Because at the end of the day, you have to choose your battles wisely. Okay? Remember that. You have to choose your battles wisely. So should you do what Tate's telling you to do and, you know, defend your honor at all costs like friggin' it's a movie? It depends. Will it cost you your life? Will it lead to jail time? Maybe it's not worth defending right now, right? Maybe this guy, because most people, as I always tell you, most people who are going to try to test you out there, who are going to try to provoke you, are low value males. So, how would you feel about going to jail and, you know, doing life, for example, over a low value male trying to provoke you? Because high value males are not going to try to do stuff like that. They just aren't. Okay? It's only going to be low value males. Even look at this online. People try to troll you. Right? People try to troll me. Are any of those guys high value? Anybody you would want to look up to or be like? No. They're all LVM. Low value males. Right? So you have to ask yourself, who is worth your time? Who are you even really wanting to fight? Right? You're really just wanting to fight you at the end of the day. If you want to take these guys on, you're really just fighting you, right? It's really just you against you. As Rocky said in Rocky 4, when he was trying to talk Apollo Creed out of fighting Drago. He was like, hey, Apollo, don't you think this is more like not against the Russian? He was like, well, Rock, if it's not against the Russian, then who's it against? And then Rocky goes, you think maybe it's like you against you? Exactly, man. It's you against you. It's these old mental demons coming to haunt you, right? Letting these bullies from first, second, third grade continue to bully you, but not through themselves, but through new people into your adulthood. And rather than give them that power, I'd rather take away that power and put the power within me and be like, you know, realize this for what it is and be like, no, these are just a bunch of low value males who are trying to troll me, you know, and I'm not going to let them get the best of me. So, F off, and I'm going to go about my life, because my life is more important to me than yours is. So yeah, you know, that's the way you got to think of it. But, you know, being a former bully child, I mean, you're always going to have some sort of reactivity, right? You just are. I hate to tell you, right? You are going to have some reactiveness within you. I still feel it to this very day with as much work as I've done on myself, you know, and as many venues as I've been in, and as many of these AMOGs that I've dealt with, that I've had tons and tons of practice dealing with. there are times where I still feel it, right? There are certain things that, you know, for lack of a better word, are a little triggering, you know? However, I know at the end of the day, I have the power, right? It's me who holds the power, not them and not my bullies from 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. It's me. I have the power to end this, right? By not reacting. Why? Because my time and my sanity is more valuable than, you know, me taking even a second out of my precious short time on this earth to cave in to this, you know, these old wounds, this like childhood trauma that I suffered as a kid, right? That we all do in some way, shape, or form, right? It doesn't mean you have to be bullied to get childhood trauma. I mean, you could get childhood trauma from bad parenting, right? Which many of these bullies, that's where they came from. That's why they become bullies. Bad parenting, right? Childhood trauma. Then they become bullies. They become idiots. So, yeah, if you're like me and you were bullied as a child, man, don't let it rule your life, and don't let it ruin your life. Okay? You got to be bigger than that. You got to be better than that, because your life is more important than anybody else's out there, right? Especially guys, again, low value males, right? Just remember that, right? And if you happen to see Tate's interview with Candace Owens, and he's telling you like, if it's between, you know, me going home and kicking myself over this versus you, getting your thrills off of me. Nope. No, you're going down. Guys, don't think that way, right? Because it will get you into trouble. Okay, it will get you into, I don't know why he said that. I don't know what context he was saying that in, because it was just a short clip. But I am telling you, as somebody who was bullied and, you know, who does deal with this stuff, you know, and who has had to overcome a lot of this childhood trauma, pick your battles wisely. Choose your battles wisely, right? Even with just your own girl, right? Even with your woman, right? She might be starting an argument with you, whatever, you know, it's the weekend's just starting. Do you really want to ruin the whole weekend over this? You know, I mean, you have to just choose your battles wisely. Right? I like to fight the large battles. I don't like fighting these mini battles. No, I don't worry about that. I rather focus on winning the war, not all these little tiny battles. Make sense? And thing is, you have to get over this short-term lizard brain type of thinking, this lizard brain short-term reactiveness when somebody says something that, you know, gets you, that provokes you to respond, you know, in a physical, in a way that might lead to physical altercation. Okay, you always have to think 10 steps ahead, right? Versus, you know, all this nearsightedness that a lot of these dudes are encouraging you, you know, to think like, right? So, in any case, guys, drop your comments below. Let me know what you think of tonight's coaching video, and anything you'd like to add, anything you'd like to share, please drop your comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. So until next time, this is Matt Cross from AlphaMaleSecrets signing out here at the Las Vegas Strip. Don't forget to smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, and smash that notification bell for me as well. It helps me out a ton with the YouTube algorithm. And also, if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, AlphaMaleSecrets, make sure you click that subscribe button now so you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on my AlphaMaleSecrets channel. And for you guys who want to support my work and all of this red pill, gold pill, platinum pill content that I'm teaching you even further, the best way to do that is by becoming a premium subscriber of my premium AlphaMaleSecrets channel. And right now it's only $1 for the entire first month of premium AlphaMaleSecrets content from me. So take advantage of it. All you need to do is click that link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds. and this is the absolute best way to support my work. So do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video. I'm out, guys. Ugh, look at that.